Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. It's Barbara Ann, and welcome back to my channel, Straight Out of Context. We are on song number 10 of Taylor Swift's new album called The Torture Poets Department, and this track is entitled, Who's Afraid of Little Old Me? Question mark. Everybody's going to recognize this one because this is one of the songs that everybody is using on TikTok as a little clip to do their own little videos to. So I'm sure everybody has heard this one by now because you can't go on YouTube Shorts or TikTok without hearing it. So this song, we're going to go over the lyrics just like we have all the other ones, and we're going to continue to do. For number 10, Who's Afraid of Little Old Me? It starts the who's who of who's that. And there's a grammar error here, and I noticed this in a couple of her songs. Who's, as in who is, or who's, as in WHOSE, not apostrophe S, because the who's who of who's that. Yeah, not to be technical there, that could be the fact that they're uploading it with the wrong grammar here, but not that it matters. That doesn't matter. Anyway, the who's who of who's that, twice wrong, is poised for the attack, but my bare hands paved their paths. You don't get to tell me about sad. If you wanted me dead, you should have just said, nothing makes me feel more alive. So I leap from the gallows and levitate down your street. Crash a party like a record scratch as I scream. Who's afraid of little old me? You should be. The scandal was contained. The bullet had just grazed. At all costs, keep your good name. You don't get to tell me you feel bad. It's a wonder I broke. Let's hear one more joke. Then we could all just laugh until I cry. So I leap from the gallows and I levitate down your street. Crash a party like a record scratch as I scream. Who's afraid of little old me? I was tame, I was gentle, till the circus life made me mean. Don't you worry, folks. We took out all her teeth. Who's afraid of little old me? Well, you should be. 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 So tell me, everything is not about me, but what if it is? Then they say they didn't do it to hurt me, but what if they did? I want to snarl and show you just how disturbed this has made me. You wouldn't last an hour in this asylum where they raised me. So all you kids can sneak into my house with all the cobwebs. I'm always drunk on my own tears. Isn't that what they all said? That I'll sue you if you step on my lawn? That I'm fearsome and wretched and I'm wrong? Putting narcotics into all of my songs? And that's why you're still singing along? So I leap from the gallows and I levitate down your street, crash the party like a record scratch as I scream. Who's afraid of little old me? I was tame, I was gentle till the circus life made me mean. Don't you worry, folks. We took out all her teeth. Who's afraid of little old me? Well, you should be. You should be. You should be. You should be. Because you lured me. You should be. And you hurt me. You should be. And you taught me. You caged me and then called me crazy. I am what I am because you trained me. So who's afraid of me? Who's afraid of little old me? Who's afraid of little old me? Okay, so this, actually, I know everybody, I haven't gotten to that song yet because I'm doing them in order, but Thank You, Amy, with K-I-M capitalized is very clearly, she did not do anything to hide that. That was very intentional. She knew people would obviously see the uppercase letters spell out the name Kim. She had to have known that. She could not be that naive at almost 40 years old. So this song here sounds very much like the same thing, like she's talking about the same exact person. But she goes, back and forth between this, whole crying thing to, oh, you made me this. You made me like this. No, sorry, Taylor Swift, you made yourself like this. Your parents and your managers and your agent and your lawyers and your assistants and the record label and the record producers and everybody, not your fans, everybody made you like that. You yourself made you like that. Nobody else is making you mean and wretched and drunk on your own tears. No, you're depressed, sad, insecure, lonely, broken, and resentful because you keep working, performing, making albums, not by yourself, mind you, so you cannot get credit for something you do not 100% do on your own. But you keep working, and next thing you know, you're 40 years old, you have no husband, no kids, nothing truly tangible and concrete and solid and consistent and stable for the foundations of having a life, a family. other than your depressed, broken, sad songs, which you make with the specific intent to appear to be vulnerable. This is not you being vulnerable. This is you constantly doing the same thing over and over and over again. At all costs, keep your good name. That's another theme that constantly comes about in her songs. It's my good name and keep your good name. I was the dutiful daughter with all her plans laid. Constantly. This obsession, this deep-seated obsession with wanting to be perceived by other people as having a good name. That's the thing. People that have a good name and are good-hearted, decent human beings, they don't have to constantly worry and subconsciously remember and think and do everything in accordance to wanting that perceived good name to stay a perceived good name. Because people that truly, they just are. They just are what they are. What other people perceive is not something we can control. But trust me, if you were on the Taylor Swift team, or you're a part of her production and her management and her lawyers and part of her company and all of that, you are doing everything you can to get everybody to maintain and keep that good name. Doesn't matter if she herself falls short to even live up to what they put out there for her, what she put out there about herself, and what the public is supposed to think about her. Not only that, but to constantly refer to herself as a teenager, teenage petulant, to refer to herself as being a good kid, a good daughter, and all this stuff when she's almost 40 years old is very much infantile and trying to infantilize herself. Because she wants younger people out there to perceive her as just like you. No, nobody out here is just like you. People out here are not linked to 100, 200, 300 men that they have been with, dated, fucked, whatever. People out here aren't doing that kind of shit unless, they're that special exception of people that are on OnlyFans and they're doing it to make money and whatnot. Taylor Swift, I'm sure she's not dating people to make money, even if a lot of her relationships were fake for a day or for a month because this person's manager decided, hey, you two need to be seen together and get paparazzi shots together and pretend like you're in a relationship. And even though that really hadn't happened, of course that happens. But Taylor Swift songs, none of this is vulnerable in telling her fans and the people that listen to her the truth. But if you really pay attention, the truth is very blatant and very obvious because she can't write a song or even perform a song without having hints of that there in everything. And it's not, these people are bullying her, that they're bullying her. So she became mean. And then she also mentions bully again. So that's 9 songs out of 10 where she directly mentioned wanting to die, killing somebody's wife, somebody else committing suicide because they can't have her or they love her that much, or her herself committing suicide because she loves somebody that much and can't even bear the thought of living without him, laying down on the gym floor and dying, just killing, stitches, gun. Here's another one where she mentions a bullet or a gun again, which is referring to the same kind of homicidal or suicidal ideation over and over and over again. Her songs may be slower or more poppy feeling to them, but I'm telling you, the lyrics are deeply concerning because this is coming from somebody who's very broken, and has lost her whole entire sense of being, if she's ever even had one. What is Taylor Swift's real sense of being? That she has to continuously work. And anytime she's not in her house, she has to have security. She has to go to the studio or do all this press stuff, which means a lot of interviews and red carpet events, and that she has to constantly travel all the time. And when she's doing a tour, God forbid, she, get up and moving around from this place to that place to this place to that place to try to eat, to try to stay hydrated, to try to get enough sleep, to shower, and then you have to go down there to the stadium and rehearse and get prepared and then make sure everything's all good. Then you actually have to do a 3-hour show. Then you have to try to go back to your room or your bus or wherever you're at during that tour and try to unwind, try to eat, to maintain your energy levels, to obviously, because look at how sweaty and disgusting she gets within 20 minutes of her 3-hour performance. I mean, her hair is frizzed, so obviously she spends, time showering, if not once, twice a day, I would assume. And then trying to spend whatever couple minutes you can. If her mom is with her dad is with her brother is with her, or her brother's girlfriend are there with her, supporting her, she might have a little bit of that, fundamentally, have that support, that family closeness, that, unconditional support that you get only from family or a very, very close, longtime friend. Or she might be able to spend that time jumping on a private jet and going to see her boyfriend and spend a couple days with him if she's got a couple days before she has to continue on to the next city. So she can get on a private jet. All her stuff is moved to the next stadium, and her dancers and all her singers and musicians and all that get moved to the next city. She can, if she's got 4 or 5 days, she can go get on a private jet, go visit her boyfriend, decompress for a couple days, and then take a private jet to the place where everything was shipped for the next show. That, to me, that's Taylor Swift's real life. She's not showing you that. She's not telling you that. She's not going to tell you what it's really like to not only be a musician of her caliber, but what it took for her and everything around her to put her in that caliber. Because trust me, it is not a earned spot. It's not, I did my dues, paid my dues and did my time, and now I get to enjoy being in this spotlight for now. It could have been anybody. It could have been anybody. And if it was going based on talent and deservedness, it would not be given to her, because Taylor Swift is not the best songwriter. She has not created the best albums. She has not created the best songs. She is not the best singer. She is not the best guitarist. And certainly her piano skills are not good. And if you haven't started piano, because my grandmother was a piano teacher, and I can tell you now, if you did not start piano at 3 years old and really work at the piano, you are not ever going to be anything more than just mediocre at piano. So Taylor Swift, as far as playing instruments, no, her talent, her voice, and her dancing skills, her performance as a whole, mediocre as it is, did not put her where she's at. It's been 17 and a half years of having some of the most powerful, biggest machine, universally epic musical production companies pay for the publicity, the marketing, and advertising of putting her where she's at. And it's not her good name and her talent that put her there and kept her there. It is hundreds, literally hundreds of other people that bust their ass to sell everybody in the world, especially the United States, this persona, this false image, this fake image of Taylor Swift as a brand. And I'm very tired of it myself, because a person cannot be a brand. Taylor Swift at 11 is not Taylor Swift at 21, is not Taylor Swift at almost 40, is not going to be Taylor Swift at 70 or deceased. So selling everybody this image of this brand, this 17-year-old blonde, tall, blue-eyed, white, spoiled, entitled, privileged, rich little American girl, as this is the all-American dream. This is the all-American dream. Look at this little girl's playing the guitar, playing the piano, and singing. This is the American dream, because if you just perform enough and fucking work enough, you can have this spot. It's about how compliant that person is, and Taylor Swift herself has been compliant in all of this, because she, in all the contracts she's ever been given, she's not only making money, she was able to launch her own company. And she's able to start writing her own songs when she does have a couple seconds of free time that she can turn around and sell and make royalties off of, or license out and still make royalties off of. Taylor Swift can't even live up to her own image. Taylor Swift cannot live up to Taylor Swift. And that is exactly how it really is. And she's not going to tell people that, because she depends on people thinking the opposite. of the truth. For her sales, for her streams, for her ability to sell performance concert DVDs to Amazon or to Netflix or to Hulu or to any of those others. So Taylor Swift, when you pay attention to her lyrics and her words, you do get, if you're even average IQ or above average IQ, you are going to pick up on the real comprehension of what is really here, what she is really saying, what she really goes through. Somebody that cries that much at almost 40 years old, it's because she knows she falls short. She knows she falls short as a human being behind closed doors. In reality, she falls short of the Taylor Swift brand. And she's getting old, and she's realized a long time ago that she has sacrificed a lot. She has sacrificed some of the most important things for what? For houses, for travel, for money, for that security. And even when she says, don't you worry, folks, we took out our teeth. Yeah, she has. She has had her teeth completely ground down to fucking nubs for veneers. And then she had those veneers uncemented and new ones put on. You know, that could be anywhere from $40,000 to $100,000, depending on what cosmetic dentist you're going to. Even though me myself, I don't consider that to be, because every celebrity has either veneers or composite bonding. All of them do. All of them do. To me, that is not so much cosmetic, but for people that actually do need to have teeth to be able to speak, to be able to eat, because we all know how dentures do people and how partials do people. You know, that right there, she's telling the truth there. She did have her teeth completely ground down to nothing but little itty bitty tiny nubs so she can have fake porcelain, same thing your toilet's made out of, fake porcelain teeth cemented on over that nub to make her teeth look very white and very straight, because that's how they can cosmetically fix it. So yeah, they did take out her teeth. If you were to uncement those fake ass teeth from those little ass nubs, she ain't got nothing but the root of a tooth up in her gums that would have to be surgically removed. That's what Taylor Swift has. So even her teeth aren't even fucking real. But, you know, all for that shiny, perfect, look at me image. All for that perfect all-American girl next door. The all-American girl next door in America is not a girl that grew up in a multi-million-dollar mansion with a father who worked for Merrill Lynch and a mother who was also in business management or finance management and had a very deep understanding. Her father was a stockbroker, but to have that understanding, both parents of finances, and to have a Christmas tree farm, and they also have this multi-million-dollar mansion. I didn't grow up like that. Most people in America don't grow up like that. So if we were to consider who is the all-American girl next door, it's the little brown or black girl. It's not this spoiled-ass, entitled little white girl that thinks she's better than every other little brown and black girl or every other little white girl that's poor in America. That's the majority of us. That's how we grew up. We didn't grow up next door to people like Taylor Swift, but that's all about the fake image, the fake persona that is being and has always been sold to everybody about her. And I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. I'm not supporting it. It is absolutely ridiculous what Taylor Swift management and every other company that she's even somewhat tied to has done to Barnes & Noble. You cannot even go into Barnes & Noble. Every 12 inches of space inside the Barnes & Noble has something Taylor Swift that they are trying to push out to people and to sell to you. And it's absolutely disgusting because her songs, reading it, these are really crappy songs. I mean, Florida was kind of cool. I kind of like that one, I really do. But Florence Welch helped write that, even though they didn't credit her on the Google for the song. She very much did write that song. And you can tell the difference. You can very much tell the difference between the lines of Taylor's that she wrote and where Florence Welch wrote the rest, the parts she's singing. Because this right here, this is absolutely, how is this who's afraid of little old me? You couldn't have said anything more true, Taylor. Little old you. Middle-aged white woman writing shitty songs about dying, death, Suicide, suicide. She'll just lay down and die. Suicide, killing somebody's wife, killing, bullets, 2 bullets, 1 gun, stitches. I'm just going to lay down and die. I just might not ever get up. All that kind of stuff. Yeah. And to constantly talk about crying. You should be cried out. You're not drunk on tears. You're drunk on alcohol because you can't get drunk on tears. And that's the truth. That's the truth. Who's afraid of little old me? Nobody is. And if I met Taylor Swift face to face, I would tell her all this. Girl, I feel bad for you. I feel bad for you. Not only would I say I honestly pray for you the most, I pray that she's able to heal and mend. Because she has, in exchange for all of that money and all of those perks and all of those houses, and the exchange of that is she is going to forever have to work her ass off. But you would think, if she's worth over $1 billion, why can't she just retire? Why can't she buy her master's then? Why did she for 2 years refuse to buy her own master's? If she had that kind of money, she would have. And if she had that kind of money, she would stop working, she would retire, she would leave room and discover and actually put her time and her effort and her money into finding and locating all of these really amazing, beautiful, young, talented musicians, singers, dancers, and she would help them get their foot in the door. She would help them get a piece of the publicity pie that she completely wants to own. And it's not because she's the best, it's because she wants everybody to think she's the best. If Taylor Swift was not an egotistical megalomaniac, psychological egoist, and actually had over $1 billion, that's what she would do. She would buy her master's back right now. She would have her own studio, her own production, her own music, all of it. And she would be raking in the dough and also simultaneously helping other artists to make their first debut albums and their subsequent albums and to get tours. No, can't have that because all eyes and all focus and all wallets have to be on Taylor Swift. Nothing is more toxic, narcissistic, borderline, histrionic, and a slap in the face to everybody than that. Because that's not only toxic and abusive, that is financial rape. To constantly, with the overdone plastic, paper, vinyl merchandise. There's no demand like that. So that is oversupplying. And that alone is wasteful and greedy. But Taylor Swift, as far as a songwriter, I would give this one a 1 out of 10 as well. Because nobody should be afraid of her. Taylor Swift is afraid of everybody else. And look at stalking. I have so many stalkers. That's what happens when you put your name out there for 8 billion people to know. That's the risk of it all. And if somebody assassinates somebody like that, that's the risk of it all. It can happen. There are crazy people out there. There are stalkers out there. There's more of them than there are going to be Taylor Swift true fans. Right? It's a wonder that I broke. Taylor Swift has never not been broken. And she knows it. And I know it because she's saying it all over her songs. She's telling you. She's telling you the truth. Not just this fake surface level truth she wants you to think about she's being bullied. She's not being bullied. She is not being bullied. She is the bully. And she wants everybody else to believe that she's done so wrong so people sympathize and feel bad for her. I don't feel bad for you. You chose all this. You chose all this and you're the one who keeps perpetuating this very toxic, abusive cycle of record making, publicity, red carpet events, tours, all of it. That's on you. That is all on you. But the sad part is truly, she can't keep up with it. She can't keep up with it, and she is broken. And I feel for her. I do. in the sense that as a human being, even if she regretted it, how could she get out of from underneath all of that? How can she tell people, truly tell people, and be vulnerable with people and open up with people and tell them? Because she'd bring down and expose the last secret that Hollywood is actually hanging on to, that it's not about talent. It's all about money, opportunity, and contacts, who you know, and what you're willing to do and how hard you're willing to throw your body and your mind to the wolves so they can monetize and capitalize off of you. But at the end of the day, when you put your head on your pillow, you're thinking of, what's it all for? What's it all for? So you can have opulence and luxury and privilege? She was born with that from her parents already. Why was that not enough for her? Why is over $1 billion not enough for her now? Because I'll tell you the secret, she doesn't actually have that kind of money. Even if all of her assets were valued at that, she is over here fucking working and working and working and working and working because she has no other fucking option. And to me, that's what the part that I feel bad for. Truly. And that all these little girls and young women who have grown up for 40 years with Taylor Swift in their ears and have grown up with her, and all these little girls who are now turning to her new album and listening to it and becoming fans, they actually think this could never be me. So with that being said, Taylor Swift, she doesn't get any pity from me. And there's nothing more a slap in the face than to lie to people with these fake songs to get this fake pity. Look at me, I'm being so vulnerable. Look at me, I'm being so bullied. I don't believe it. I don't buy it. And that whole drama shit, what does that got to do with performing, with making music for people? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. And Hollywood has been so good for so long. We've been exposing it for so long. And it's starting to come down because these celebrities and influencers, they're really getting their shits fucked up, their careers canceled, everything done because of the exposure for who they really are, what they really are, how they really operate, and how it is not fair. This person is not better than anybody else out there. Why do they get the multi-million-dollar house and the luxury and all the luxury stuff? And why them and not the people out here in America? That's the whole secret right there, that they don't want to let you know that it could be anybody. Anybody. As long as you have the contacts and the money. You can look exactly like Taylor Swift or Kim Kardashian. You can have a company just like Skims. Or be putting out albums just like Taylor Swift. You could get your own Jack Antoff or Max Martin, the geniuses behind the actual music and the actual lyrics. The people that are actually producing the music, which is essentially making the music. You know, that's the whole thing. If you had the amount of contacts and that kind of money, it could be you. It could be you. So it's nothing about these celebrities, especially people like Taylor Swift, is special. Nothing. Because it's certainly not her musical skills, her dancing skills, or her vocal skills. And that is a truth that the majority of Americans know. Because if there's 8 billion people on the planet, and there's 331 million people in America, not to mention however much they estimate millions of immigrants that are illegally living here, that's really not that much to say, okay, 1 million people went and got your album in the first week it came out. That's not even 0.3% of the population went out and got her album. That's not a whole lot of people. If you really think about that. 331 million citizens in the United States. Yeah, so I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. If Taylor Swift could get 231 million out of 331 million American citizens to say, yeah, I like her, I'm a fan. If she can get 2/3 of the United States population to say, yeah, I like her, or yeah, I listen to her music, or yeah, she's okay, I'm not really a fan, but, you know, I dig her, whatever. then I would say I would concede. But I'm not conceding because all of these articles, all of these paparazzi shots, all of this fake soap opera drama in newspapers and on online publishing that is printed, you can bet your damn ass Taylor Swift and her parents and her team, they're all in on it. They're the ones who stage the photos, and they're the ones that get paid for those staged photos. And that's one of their biggest money makers. It's not these albums. And it's not the tours, because the tours, look at how much it's to take the stage and the equipment and the dancers and the workers, all of them. You know, taking 500 people plus hundreds of thousands of tons of equipment from Paris to Germany, back to the United States, or anywhere to Asia or Africa or anywhere where she's performing. That costs an immense amount of money. An immense amount of money. So really stop and think about that. If somebody was to gross over $1 billion off of one tour, you can guarantee that even if she was taking home multi-millions of dollars, first of all, right off the get, the federal government's going to take a lot of it. And then she's not going to be left with very much. Plus, what of her own money or her own company has been being spent on helping that. That really would be a reimbursement out of that money she makes. And that's why tours have to happen so much. Tour. Because it's never enough for them. It's never enough for them. I bet you all of the homeless people in America would be okay, could literally be housed and fed and given some kind of basic dental and medical care with just a fraction of the money Taylor Swift don't even need. And so when people that are celebrities don't put that towards humanitarianism or helping other people, no, because they don't want some prettier blonde hair, blue-eyed girl that goes and gets all her teeth ground down so she can get fake porcelain veneers done. They don't want anybody better, prettier, more talented to come up and take their spot. It's not because she's secure in her spot and who she is. It's because she's very broken and insecure in her spot. Because she knows it. She fucking knows it. And that's not being a bully. That's not hating Taylor Swift as a person. That's just telling the truth. And that's just telling the truth based on what words and what collaboration of words, what conjunction of words that she's choosing to put out there, aka as songs. Some of it does have hints of truth to it, even if the rest is all fucking made up bullshit. So as far as this goes, I'm not a fan of it. But I'll be back here later to do song number 11 and go over those lyrics. All right, I love you guys. You guys have a great Friday morning. I'll talk to you later.